In this video, we're going to talk about what is implicit differentiation. All right, so keyword here, implicit, first keyword actually. Second keyword is differentiation, which means taking the derivative. So before we talk about what implicit is, let's recall something we've seen before. So d dx, all right, that means taking the derivative with respect to x. Actually, it's a short way of writing dy dx. We'll talk about that in a second. But it just means the derivative with respect to x. It means how fast a function is changing at a given particular moment in time. So here's why we do this. This is because dx is on the bottom of the fraction, so we're taking the derivative with respect to x. Now, like I said, this is actually a shortcut to dy dx, the derivative of y with respect to x. And I really want to write this out for you so that you can remember what dy dx actually is. So remember that dy dx is actually a shortcut to the definition of the derivative. Limit as h approaches 0, and this is just one way of writing it. Whoops, messed up there. Of f of x plus h minus f of x over h. So you can think of your dy as this top of this fraction, okay? Your change in y. You can think of your dx as the bottom of this fraction, your change in h. So that's what dy dx means. Just remember that before we go on to thinking about implicit differentiation. All right, and guess what? Y prime actually means exactly the same thing. It means dy dx, which is nothing more than a shortcut for the definition derivative of f of x plus h minus f of x over h. It's your change in y over your change in x, okay? It's the slope formula you learned in algebra 2, algebra 1 even, y2 minus y1, and you take that and you divide by x2 minus x1, all right? However, we know in calculus it's at a particular point. It's not 2 points, it's 1 point, and that's why it's a limit as h approaches 0. So what is implicit differentiation? How is it different than the normal definition derivative dy dx? Well, implicit differentiation is taking the derivative of a function with respect to another variable. In other words, dx is not going to be on the bottom anymore. Let's erase x and put, say, dy. Now, I've actually talked about this before. I've thought about this a lot philosophically. Say you're traveling up a steep hill in a car or in a truck. This would be, in relation to math, your change in y. This would be your change in x. Okay, so change in y, change in x. We could equally measure the slope by taking change in x over change in y. It would give the inverse of change in y over change in x. Now, there's different applications in science why we would do that sometimes, but it actually equally makes sense that you would do change in x over change in y. You're just going to get a different number back. So, for example, let's say we can look at this, and let's say the slope of this function is 1/2, okay? Change in y is 1, change in x is 2. Could we not equally say that the slope is 2 if it's change in x over change in y? In other words, for every 2 units we go over x, we go up 1 y. Either way works. So that's why we have implicit. It's a way of thinking about slope in a different way. So let's take a look at some different examples. Let's say we were taking the derivative of y with respect to x. Okay? So again, this is an example of implicit. You're taking the derivative of a variable with respect to a different variable. Okay, as I said just now, if you wanted to do d dy of x, that would also be an example. All right? You're going to get a different answer back than, say, d dy of y. It's going to be different. We're going to talk about how to do that. Next, we have d dt of r squared. Well, you can see down here at the bottom, the derivative we're taking the derivative with respect to t. However, our variable is r squared. That's called implicit differentiation. Finally, we have d dx of natural log of y. All right. Taking derivative with respect to x, however, the function is in terms of y. So how does one implicitly differentiate? That's what we're going to get with. That's what we're going to address in example 1. So that's it for this intro to implicit differentiation. Next, we'll talk about how to actually do it.